New Jersey will soon ban landlords from being able to decline an application based on if they utilize public assistance for housing. And so what does that mean? The thing you probably think of is Section 8 vouchers. If you're a landlord in New Jersey, and if you get a call from a client that says, do you accept Section 8? You are not going to be legally allowed to say no. And the reason I use the word explicitly is that's always been the rule, right? So the expression I always tell my clients is red blood, green money. If they have red blood and if they have green money, they probably fall somewhere under a protected class with federal fair housing, and you can't decline them based on the legal income that they're obtaining. Now that does not just include Section 8. If somebody uses any sort of child support or alimony payments, you have to consider that. If they are taking payments from a nonprofit and that's subsidizing their rent, you have to entertain that. And the hang up most people get with not accepting government assistance for housing is twofold. And I'll put aside any preconceived notion of the quality of tenant that you might be getting. Instead, focus on the other question, which is, do they have to still abide by the same rules? And do I have to still abide by the same rules as the landlord of the Truth in Renting Act in New Jersey? Now, the Truth in Renting Act is what dictates landlord and tenant obligations. So, of course, vital facilities, right? You as the landlord, if the heat goes out, by law in New Jersey, you have to fix it. And the fear is more so in the unknown. If I have somebody who's taking advantage of government housing vouchers, am I going to still have the same recourse that I would if I run into a problem? The answer is yes. The good news is it's very transparent. If you're able to have the benefit as a landlord of accepting Section 8 vouchers, it clearly dictates what you have to do. So you know the property has to be maintained in a certain condition, there's certain registrations you have to do, but assuming all of those are done and you pass inspections, which by the way, they're passing anyway. You have to pass them anyway, depending on the municipality you're in, but that's not something that's gonna majorly disrupt the deal. It's all things you should be doing anyway. And on the flip side, from a legal basis, because again, the hang up is if they're accepting these vouchers, and most of the time the tenant pays a portion of it and the government pays the difference of it, is, well, if the government's my tenant, can I evict them? Or do I run into issues with it? One of the obvious changes is you have what's called a pay or quit period. So if the rent is late 3 days, you can issue a pay or quit or a notice to quit to the tenant saying, we're going to begin the eviction process. That's the way the Truth in Renting Act is written. If you have a client who's utilizing government assistance, in Section 8 specifically, that 3 days is extended to 30 days. So there are legislative differences between the two. But the short of it is, don't get stuck in the hoopla of, oh my goodness, this Section 8 thing, this fear of the unknown. The important thing is just to be educated on that process. It's a bit of a different process. And there's also really strong motivators for that tenant to take care of the property as well. There's, just like you're being audited and checked as a landlord, the tenant is being audited and checked as a tenant. So if they destroy, or if there's issues and you're running into problems with your tenant, that compromises their ability to continue to be the benefactor of this assistance program. So I would say, don't let the fear of the unknown allow you to be caught in a position where you're not just losing an opportunity to have really secure, stable rent, but also you could be running the risk of as soon as Governor Murphy signs, of violating the law.